So just as a quick little review. How would you get x by itself? Finley? You sure? Adds. So we want to get rid of that. And therefore x is equal to? Positive 4. No, you don't have to. This is just a review. Here's set equations. You have to do two things to get x by itself. What would you do first? Subtract 5. What does the equation look like? 3x equals, now, some of you guys are still having trouble with this. -7 minus 5, because you see two negatives and you think it's going to be a positive. If you add two negatives together, there's no way it can be positive. If you multiply, it's positive. It's not positive. -12, got it. And I still don't have x by itself. What do I got to do? Divide both sides by 3. And x will equal -4. Okay? So we've done plenty of ones like this. I'm sure you did those in middle school too. Fond memories of middle school. But what about this? What's different about this equation than the ones that we just did here? What looks different? Yeah, well, there's one variable, but in two different spots. Yes, that's the difference. So, because we're used to just seeing one variable on the left side. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sure. Can I smile button? Okay. Somehow I got to get these together. Well, think of it this way. There's two A's here, right? How would I get rid of two A's? Well, you can't combine them because they're on opposite sides of the equation, but you eventually will. I need to somehow bring this over here to combine it with this. How do I bring this? How do I bring a 2A away from this side, the right side, and have it go over to the left? See? You have to do something. It's actually very similar to what we do here. I'm not sure what. No, okay. Yes. How do I get rid of 2A? How do I, what gets 2A to nothing? Don't overthink. Subtract 2A, right? So if I subtract this side by 2A, I have to do the same thing to the other, right? I have to subtract the left side by 2A. What does the equation look like? Well, what's 5A subtract 2A? What is still on the left-hand side? No, on the left-hand side. Finish it.
+7.
Thank you. What's on the right-hand side? 1. Notice we've now made it look like this. So when you have variables on both sides, I usually take away the one on the right and bring it over to the left. It doesn't matter. We could have taken away 5a here and brought it over there. It's still going to give you the same answer. Okay? What's your next step? Subtract 7 from both sides. What does it look like? What's your last step to get a by itself? And therefore a is equal to -2. So it's one extra step when you've got variables on both sides. Okay? As soon as you see variables on both sides, bring the one on the right over to the left. Okay? How can I get rid of this? Subtract by itself, so subtract 4x. Which means I've got to subtract the left side by 4x, which means I can combine it with the 6x. Yeah?
I have a question about the equal question before.
Yes.
Why would you subtract, if you're doing subtraction, are you not subtracting 7 from the left? Yeah.
Oh no, you're subtracting 7 to get rid of it here. And then whatever you do to the one side of the equation to keep it balanced, you have to do the same thing to the other. Yeah, it has no impact on the 3a. What does the equation look like when I subtract both sides by 4x?
2x plus 2 equals 7.
Now you should be able to finish. You should be able to go. I'll give you a couple seconds to finish it up. Sure.
Negative, or x equals negative 4.
X equals -4. Okay. Sarah? Yeah.
X equals 4.
X equals 4.
I think do the
Okay, so we subtract 2 from both sides. And I get 2x is equal to 8. And then I subtract 2 from both sides again. And I get x equals 6, right?
no.
Would anybody like to argue with me? Everybody should be wanting to argue with me. I like doing that once in a while, just sort of throw in a wrong answer, just so, because it's amazing how easy it is to like convince you guys of something that's wrong. Like I could say, no, this is what we do. And then eventually I could get you guys to commit to it. Okay? Like it's amazing. The power. I'm just, so of course, yes, we don't subtract by 2. We divide by 2. And we get x. Okay? And then the next one. See if you can go with this one. It's okay to have negatives. Don't worry about having negatives. So I'm thinking that most of you, the first step is subtract 2c. Subtract 2c. -5c plus 7 equals -8. So now the c's are together. So you notice we can always get these equations down to 2-steppers. And then you just get rid of the plus minus, then you get rid of multiplication, and you got your answer. So what's next? -8 minus 7,
-15.
-15. Remember, we're subtracting, so they don't become positive. Careful. Yes, you have to divide by the identical thing that you're multiplying by. Believe it or not, I'm going to stop right there because the next part on fraction equations, that's a little bit hard to wrap your head around at first. So I would rather you guys practice with this first, and then tomorrow we'll do the fraction equations, because that's something that's going to be new to you guys, definitely. And it's something that's we're going to use a ton of in future